Hi guys, welcome to another tactical video. This one's going to be about another elite choice for the Sisters of Battle, and that is Celestians. Now, these are quite infamous amongst Sisters of Battle players, mainly because they have a reputation for being a little bit lackluster, and that is an understatement. Even though I'm a big advocate of that there are no bad units in 40k, and that every unit has a place, Celestians really do struggle to find a place in most lists, and the reasons for this are actually quite a few of them. Firstly is that basically what these are is they are taking up an elite slot, which isn't too bad considering we only have two choices in the codex anyway, one of which being Repentia. But also it means that they're kind of like an upgraded Battle Sister squad, and of course they're not a troops choice, so usually when people want something that to fill a role that Celestians can do, they would take Battle Sisters instead, purely because they are troops. So, you know, you're filling that quota and also you're getting all the benefits of being a troop in 7th edition, so that helps. So yeah, what do you actually get for a Celestian then? So Celestians are slightly more expensive. A squad of 5 costs 70 points, and each model costs 14 points. So what you get for that is the exact same thing you would get on a Battle Sister. However, you get an extra attack, so 2 attacks each. They're leadership 9, and they are weapon skill 4 instead of 3, so you're getting the extra points in those 3 things. Apart from that, they are identical in terms of loadout and everything. They are also identical in terms of what special weapons you can take with them, and heavy weapons. Now what is different is that with Celestians you cannot increase the squad size above 10. Excuse me. So what this means is you are capped at a limit of 10 models, and you can't go for like the big blob squad that you can with the Battle Sisters. So they're slightly less versatile in that sense. Now, obviously the point cost at 70 points is actually only 10 points more, and a good way of looking at these is basically they are a squad of Sister Superiors, really, because they have the exact same stat line as a veteran Sister Superior would for a normal Battle Sister squad. So basically you're getting the 2 attacks on each member of the squad and the higher leadership, but you're also getting the +1 weapon skill as well, so slightly better. Now, where things start to fall down a little is with the Acts of Faith, because obviously Battle Sisters get preferred enemy, and they can use that either in the shooting phase or in the assault phase. Re-rolling 1s to hit and to wound is actually pretty good, especially across several models. Celestians, in contrast, simply get Furious Charge, so obviously they can only really use it in the assault phase. Excuse me. Now, some people have problems getting units into the assault. I don't personally have many problems getting Battle Sisters into the assault because they are troops, blah blah blah. If you use the Celestians in a similar role, then they can still get into the assault, and obviously they should do better than Battle Sisters because they have the extra attacks. And you know, with a squad of 10, you're getting the 20 attacks, 30 attacks on the charge, and suddenly that's pretty good. Of course, they're a better weapon skill and blah blah blah. If you've got the Furious Charge off, then Strength 4 as well. The problem here is that even though you're doing this, and you're basically doing the same thing as a Space Marine, you're still Initiative 3. That is massive. Initiative 3 is one of the biggest weaknesses of Sisters of Battle, and it's fine if you're quite resilient and that kind of thing, but as a bare bones squad, going last, you're going to take those penalties, and you're still toughness 3, and you've still only got the 3 up armor save. So while they can be good if they get into the assault, you know, you've got to get them there, and then once they're in the assault, you've got to weather that storm of fire, and you're losing a lot more for every kill, because, you know, you're losing those extra attacks, you're losing 3 attacks at a time, and, you know, the Strength 4 only lasts 1 round. So quite a few little things that stack up against you here. Now, how to make it work? It can be quite complicated, but basically, a transport is a good idea. So a rhino, if you have a decent sized squad, or an immolator if you're struggling, that kind of thing. Now, they aren't assault vehicles, but they will help you get your troops into place, and that should help in a lot of ways. If you give your opponent enough distractions, then these girls can actually charge and get into combat, and that's where they want to be, of course. With that in mind, the best way to use them, I would say, is in a supporting role. Now, because they have the same gear as Battle Sisters, they can pick the same kind of targets as Battle Sisters. So they can shoot the same kind of things, and you can even put these girls in the front lines, so that the two squads combine and shoot the squads, and then when these girls can, they can charge in and finish the job. Finish off that squad, and that is where the charge comes in. They need that strength 4, they've got that armor save, blah blah blah, they've got that weapon skill 4, and there's extra attacks. They are there to pulverize a heavily weakened squad and deal with it. Or of course they could deal with weak infantry fairly well. But as soon as you start getting up to like full strength tactical squads or anything above that, then they're going to start to struggle a bit more without softening up first. So bear that in mind. So with that in mind, I would actually equip them in a very similar way to aggressive Battle Sisters. So I would actually take the Flamer, as you can see there. I would consider taking a heavy Flamer, or just double Flamer. I would take a combi Flamer even, that kind of thing. Try and build them up so these close range assault weapons means they can obviously shoot, soften up the infantry, and then go in and finish on the charge. And because you want to be in close range with them anyway, then it's all fine. And if you are getting charged by the enemy, then obviously Celestians are much better at meeting that charge than normal Battle Sisters, because it leaves your Battle Sisters free to go about where they want. So I think the real trick to these is basically running them alongside your troops' choices and letting them support each other. Now, that said, it would be easy to grind these down to a halt and tie these up and even kill them. So bear in mind you probably will take some losses on the way in. Best way around this is basically give them a priest, because not only does it make them fearless, but you get in those war hymns that will really, really help. So they're rerolling to hit on that furious charge, and of course they could reroll to wound or reroll their saves. Personally, I'd try and get them to reroll their saves, because that will let that initiative free be more of a non-factor, and then they can actually do something and, kill the squads they're supposed to. So if you use them in that way, it's actually pretty good. And bear in mind, these are only like 10 points cheaper for 5 girls than a normal Battle Sister squad. And the benefits of that is basically you are getting a full squad of veteran sergeants instead of 1. So in other words, a Battle Sister squad with a veteran sergeant, with a veteran Sister Superior, I should say, costs the exact same points as a squad of 5 of these, and they all have the same stats as the veteran Sister Superior. So in that perspective, they're actually a very good deal. They're a very good bargain, really, for what you get. Of course, what lets them down is the act of faith, and the fact that they still die as easy as normal Battle Sisters. So priest support will go a very, very long way. Now, if you went into the allies route with these, I think you could do a lot with them. For example, if you took Space Wolves allies for their drop pods, Celestians are pretty much the perfect unit to put in one of those drop pods, because they all have that resiliency in their 2 attacks. They can get lots of shots off still. They can do the damage when they come down, basically, and then they can hold out and continue to be a nuisance. And of course, they're not super scoring, so it doesn't really matter if they all get wiped out. They're a good distraction unit, and they're cheap. I mean, full squad, 140 points, it's not bad at all. They would do well with Psyker support, of course, buffing them up in any way possible. I would say mainly priests are the biggest must-have for this unit. If you give them an assault vehicle, that's good, but at the same time, I don't think they're making full use of that. And honestly, if you're going the assault vehicle route, because they are quite expensive, I would start looking at Repentia or Battle Conclaves, that kind of thing. I think you'd have more success there. So, all in all, I would say that Celestians are probably better suited to smaller point games. The reason for this is they are the Adeptus Sororitas' jack of all trades kind of unit. Or if you've seen the Tactical Terminators video I made, they're kind of like that, although not as effective. What I mean is that they are suited, they are a support role really, and they should be used as such. So you use them to plug gaps, that kind of thing. And even though they can be on the forefront, like from the drop pod, as I said, where they can do well, they're best suited to plugging these gaps. And so in smaller point games, when you have less scope to cover all the avenues that you need, Celestians can be a decent choice for just those few points more. They'll help buff you up a bit. Now the last thing I was going to say is that I wouldn't really take melter bombs on them as such, because you've probably got better sources of anti-tank. However, as I say, combi flamers and flamers are a good idea because you're going to be in close, and you're going to do much better against infantry than anti-tank. Even though you could handle anti-tank, make them anti-infantry, and you'll have a lot more success because they can do that shooting, and then they can charge in and finish off the softened up squad. Now, having said that, the Veteran Sister Superior that you get, I would actually think about upgrading to the power weapons. Even though they are expensive, I think it's one of the few places in the Sororitas Codex where it could actually be worthwhile upgrading them to like a power sword or something like that. Now remember, you're still going last, so be careful, but as I say, with priest support, you should do okay, and you've got that there. A power axe is probably a good idea because we're initiative 3 already, so going at initiative 1 isn't that bad, and you're getting that extra +1 strength, and of course on the charge that makes you strength 5, so strength 5 AP2, so not bad at all, and you're getting those extra attacks. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Celestians. There's not a whole lot to say. Very few people use them, and it's easy to see why, because they have a very thinly defined role, but that's basically it. They are the jack of all trades unit for our codex. So if you have run them before, or if you are thinking of using them, then please feel free to let me know how you get on with them. I'd be very interested. I have run them once and they did okay. I don't usually have space for them in my lists, which is a shame, but I have given them some serious thought, and I may use them in future, especially in smaller games. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful anyway. If you liked it, don't forget to click like. Feel free to comment, and I'll try and answer back. Or of course you can subscribe for more tactical videos, and I should have more coming out soon. Thanks for watching.